Stuart McMillan's SuperNormal Stimuli. Natural selection, a process which shapes the bodies of creatures, as well as their behaviors. A repertoire of reactions to all environmental stimuli a wild creature will face, honed by millions of years of trial and error. Instinct. Enter Nico Tinbergen, a Dutch biologist fascinated by the behavior of animals, systematically experimenting the triggers for their behaviors. The colors, shapes, smells, patterns, and sensations which formed the root of instincts. Tinbergen succeeded in isolating the traits which triggered certain instincts, and then made an interesting discovery. Instincts had no bounds. Instead of stopping at a sweet spot, the instinctive response would still be produced by unrealistic stimuli. Once the researchers isolated the instinct's trigger, they could create greatly exaggerated dummies which the animals would choose instead of a realistic alternative. Songbird parents would prefer to feed fake baby birds with their mouths wider and redder than their real chicks. And the hatchlings themselves would ignore their own parents to beg fake beaks with more dramatic markings. Seeing red, literally, male stickleback fish would ignore real rivals to attack wooden replicas with brightly painted underbellies, even reacting territorially when a red postal van passed a lab window. Songbirds would abandon their pale blue eggs dappled with gray and sit on black polka-dotted fluorescent blue dummies so big they would constantly slide off. Tinbergen called these supernormal stimuli, a hijacking of an animal's instincts beyond their evolutionary purpose. Tinbergen and his students created supernormal stimuli to study the animals they were researching, but there was already a creature actively building supernormal stimuli to use on itself. Human beings. With instincts evolved for hunting and gathering on the savannas of Africa 10,000 years ago, most humans today find themselves in a very different environment. While our technologies and population densities have undergone amazing change in such short time, evolution has not had chance to keep pace. Our brains are the same as our hunter-gatherer ancestors, and the instincts honed to seek rare rewards in a world of scarcity tug at us from all angles in a world of supernormal stimuli. We can eat refined foods far sweeter, saltier, and fattier than anything available to our ancestors. We sit motionless for hours watching flicker shows of imaginary characters' lives, or we jump into their world and try to be them. We can create characters cuter than our pets and babies, pornography available to anyone who wants to see it, and a raft of other distractions eager to hijack our attention. Certainly, we have enough spare time, enough spare wealth, to indulge some of the pleasures supernormal stimuli can give us. But how much is enough? Supernormal stimuli work on humans because, like all animals, we have basic instincts hardwired into our brains. A reptile brain still sits deep within us, and its influence is far greater than we care to admit. Faced with supernormal stimuli, we often feel like our willpower has been turned to stone. But we are gifted with another layer above the reptile brain, another piece of circuitry able to override or redirect the instincts our reptile brain shouts at us. Conscious thought. The mind. We are the only creature that can bypass the unreal and choose the real. A choice that requires a large dose of willpower. A choice only available to those who have learned to spot the dummies that surround us. Only those who can see the supernormal can learn to silence the reptile.